I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Roundtable. We are here every Thursday afternoon, 12:15. Good to have you with us. Amy will be along the way in a second, but until then, what's been going on, Kat?
Oh, you know, all the things. We'll talk about the gym, I guess. We were chatting briefly about it. Last day of the gym is the 24th of December. So my members know they're very sad. I have spoiled them rotten. A bunch of them have gone to other CrossFit gyms in the area, and their reporting back to me is, we have been spoiled by you. This place is so clean, you're so accommodating, all this other stuff. So I feel bad that I can't, they're not going to maybe get the same experience, but I think they're all going to be fine. It's sad that some of them, I think, are not going to do CrossFit because there's not an equivalent. And it's the whole reason why I wanted to affiliate and open up my gym in the first place, was to be a place for CrossFit folks that weren't your typical CrossFit folks. And I think that kind of has me a little bit sad that they're probably just going to go to the local whatever and, take boot camp classes or body pump or whatever, which again, as long as they're active, and I've had a role in that, that's fine. But I want them to do something. And if it's not CrossFit, that's okay. Because, technically I'm not a CrossFit gym anymore. CrossFit Clarity is departed, according to CrossFit.
Yeah. But maybe you have sparked something in people to want to continue a fitness journey. And at the very least, if that happens, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited, and I'm not super sad anymore. Like, I can talk about it and not burst into tears, which is a good thing, because normally I'm pretty emotional when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, when I told my members, I did it over email so they could sort of simmer with it a little bit before I actually had to see them in person. And so there weren't so many surprised reactions from people. And, they're picking up rowers and echo bikes and wanting to bring home dumbbells and kettlebells and all that. So I think it'll be a good transition. It's just going to be a crazy couple of weeks, because between Christmas and New Year's, I got to get out of there and I got to sell all my stuff. So we'll be having a little bit of a fire sale after the holiday.
So if you live in the Delaware area and you want some
Delaware,
equipment,
Southern Pennsylvania, Northern Maryland, Northern Virginia, come on up. I got all the things.
Are you going to look to coach again, or are you going to take a step back for a minute?
I'm going to relax for a little bit. I already had a couple gyms reach out to me and say, "Hey, we need help at the 5:15." And I was like, okay, well, that would be the last class I want to teach, because I've been doing that for a million years. So yeah, I'm going to take a step back and probably join a local CrossFit gym close to where my apartment is, and just kind of enjoy my fitness, probably through the open, and then we'll see what happens. But I did just renew my level 3, so I've got 3 more years of that, but I have to get in my 750 hours of coaching at a CrossFit gym. So if it matters to me to keep that in 3 years, then I'll have to, pick up some hours somewhere. But I could probably do that in the last year if I wanted to.
Yeah.
We'll
and who knows? You may only need 6 months.
Right. I might only need 3 weeks. I might get super antsy. Who knows?
Yeah. You kind of don't know until you're in the middle of it, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like when you retire. You think oh, it's going to be great and I can relax. And then there are certain people that retire and they can't not do something. So we'll see. I think I'll enjoy not doing anything for a little bit of time, hopefully.
Yeah. Good stuff there. Anything else fun this week? Thanksgiving was last week. We took the week off.
Thanksgiving was good. Yep. Like I said, I haven't seen Braden yet. He and I have just been communicating over the phone. Spent some time with Eliana. Met her new love interest over the weekend. We had lunch at a restaurant, or dinner at a restaurant where he works. Earlier this week, I went to a country music concert last night at a local music hall. George Burge and Corey Kent were there, and it was a very small venue, like less than 300 people. So it was pretty cool.
I don't know those names because I don't listen to country music. Are
Spotify, they are up and coming.
Okay.
Up and coming, not not huge, but they have number one songs, or have had number one songs in the country music world. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
I just got my Spotify Wrapped for
Mm-hmm.
and my Spotify is hooked to the family Amazon Echo device in the house. So
Okay,
I'm always disappointed every year because I get a
it's
good chunk
diluted.
of my wife's picks, because whenever I'm not home, that's how she plays her music, is just through the Amazon Echo.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm always disappointed. I'm like, I want to see what I'm listening to, and then it's, you know, I've got Janet Jackson, and I'm like, I haven't listened to Janet Jackson in like years.
Hey, nothing wrong with Janet Jackson. Well,
Mine's all messed up and diluted too, because I use mine for when I wake up in the middle of the night and can't sleep, and like listen to like a sleep story or like guided meditation or something. So mine's all messed up.
do you still do you does it track your podcast too? Are you still on like the true crimes
Oh yeah.
bandwagon?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but
Speaking
I
of,
was on Apple.
have you started watching Based on a True Story?
No, what's that on?
I'm trying to
That
get
is
Joel
on
to watch it.
That is on Peacock. It's with Kelly Cuoco and some other guy, and they convince a serial killer to like do a podcast with them. And
I know what you're talking about now. Yes. Okay.
yeah, it's fun. It's cool. I started to watch it. I like it.
Yeah, speaking
I
of,
have free Peacock from my new cable provider. So like when I sign up for cable, I have like a free year of Peacock. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be able to watch it.
I know Amy is into the Yellowstone finale, but I don't have the Paramount Network, so I can't watch it. But I'm watching Landman.
What's that? I haven't heard.
So it's the new Taylor Sheridan show on Paramount Plus with Billy Bob Thornton, and it is about the oil industry in Midland, Texas, and it is Billy Bob Thornton is freaking awesome. I'm loving every bit of it.
Cool. You guys, can you hear that? Can you hear the wind?
I not at your house, but it woke me up.
Oh my gosh.
It was really bad here.
It's bad here. Yeah. Well, sorry. That was like, it's really loud. I live in a little bit of a wind tunnel, so.
Yeah, I think you got what we had yesterday.
Yeah. Yes, I'm caught up on Yellowstone, but apparently I can't talk about it. Yes.
So good. It's really good. There's only like 2 more episodes. Like, what's going to happen? Are they done? Like, no more? Or are they going to keep going, do you think?
I don't know.
There's supposed to be a spinoff.
Okay. So
with Michelle Pfeiffer
with the 4
happening.
6s or whatever.
Yeah.
No, this is different. It's it's about New Yorkers moving to Montana with Michelle Pfeiffer and some other big names. I can't remember it all, but
it's going to be like after they build the airport.
I have not watched any of this last season, so I don't know.
Okay.
But there was already like spin-offs of it. They were like prequels made, 2 prequels made. One with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill and
1823 and 1979 or whatever.
Yeah.
They were good. I thought they were good.
There's rumors, but I've heard like it's this storyline is done at the end.
I mean, they're working their way towards that. For sure.
Yeah. So because we can't watch it, we've watched Landman, and we went back and watched Lioness season 1, and now we're partway through season 2, which is another one of his shows, and it's about a military ops group that uses women to infiltrate the family members of Al Qaeda members. And it's harsh.
Is it the guy from
really
Lost?
Good. It is no guys. It is Zoe's and
no guys.
The girl that plays the only guy is then the main character is Morgan Freeman, and he's just like a politician. But it's Nicole Kidman and Zoe's and so what's that? I never can remember.
Deschanel?
No, she's in. It's there. It
Zoe
is
Saldana.
Zalcon.
Yeah, she was the one in
Um,
that blue person movie.
Oh, she's in
She's a blue
Guardians of the
person.
Galaxy as Gamora.
Yeah.
So it's really good, but it is dark. Like you have to be prepped because essentially they train a soldier to go in and hang out with like daughters, mothers of the Al Qaeda members, get close to them, and then if they can get the Al Qaeda member alone, kill them, and then get the hell out of Dodge as fast as they can, and hopefully they can save them.
Wow. Okay.
It is crazy. Crazy exciting. Like Taylor Sheridan is freaking awesome at writing, but yeah, it got really.
I mean, he does a lot of cameos too.
I wouldn't know him if he hit me in the face.
Oh, okay. I mean, he's in Yellowstone.
Who? How?
He's one of the. I mean, he's part of the. I'll send you the 4 6s. He owns 4 6s.
Oh, okay. And he's also what? Is he the writer? Is he one of the writers or an executive producer? Or he's the writer? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's weird that in the credits for Yellowstone, they still have what's his face, Kevin Costner, as an executive producer on the episodes that he clearly has nothing to do with.
Yeah, contractually, they probably have to.
Yeah.
So, Amy, did you do anything fun this week? Thanksgiving week?
I mean, I worked I coached and did 1,200 feet of lunges and felt it for about a week.
Oh, lunges?
Not even weight.
What is it about lunges? They get you every time.
Yeah.
They're the worst, most effective leg movement ever.
So effective.
Yeah. Underrated too, I feel like. But lately, gosh, yeah, they kill everybody.
Do it anywhere, at a hotel.
Mm-hmm, you know? Yeah, and like you said, even unweighted, like they're potent.
So I did that. It was fun to have the family here. I hosted, but it was pretty quiet, like small. And then, Natalie's back, but she'll back at school, but then she'll be back next week. So, and I'm done after next Friday for the rest of the year. So,
oh, good.
Yeah,
must be nice.
That's really good.
Just remember, my paychecks also don't extend to
it's very nice
to others. So,
yeah, I'm not taking any time off for the holidays because of Julie's surgery in January. So I can take off and be with her.
Is it scheduled?
January 6th. And we got the approval letter from the insurance company. So we have it in writing that it is approved. So super stoked. We both may have cried that day when the letter came.
Yeah,
I bet. Speaking of getting your claims approved or denied, have we heard anything about the United Healthcare guy and how it was very targeted and like sounds like somebody didn't get their claim approved and sort of went haywire?
Is that what you've heard? I haven't heard that part.
I didn't hear that.
There were etchings in the casings of the.
Yeah, I knew that.
I heard that part too, but I didn't hear what was on them.
It was deny, depose,
deny,
something else, but there was apparently there was like a movie that had a very similar title to it, and it was all about an insurance claim, like not being denied or something. I don't know. Maybe people are making something of it that it isn't, but like how crazy.
I also heard another.
That's my healthcare company too, which I mean doesn't really affect me, but
the conspiracy I heard was after I saw that he was potentially wanted by the Department of Justice for insider trading, was that
the president was?
Yeah, that he may have hired a hitman for himself.
Oh, interesting.
So that his family could have his finances, but
wow. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Corey Leonard, my wife works for Blue Cross, and they had a thing yesterday with the CEO. She said there was a hugely increased security presence.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
scary.
I mean, you never think you need security for folks like that, but
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a wild world we live in these days.
Sure
it
is.
really is.
So there is a little bit of CrossFit news this week. Dubai is happening this week. It is being streamed on their YouTube channel. Typically,
it is? Good.
they don't stream the first day, but then they stream everything after that. There are some names there at Dubai this weekend. And so I have their Instagram up. I'll show it on the screen. So you have like Andrea Solberg, Georges Kervis, Elena Caratella, Moritz Fiebig. Gabby Megala is not appearing, just so you know. Pedro Martins, Benoit Boulanger, Bronislaw Alinkowitz, Annika Greer, our girl, Elisa Fuliano, a lot of European athletes, Mathilde Garnes.
French braids.
You know it. Kristen Holta.
Wow.
Her first competition
Love
back.
it.
Yeah.
Mike Wazlowski. Mike Wazlowski.
Radowski.
Linda Kiesman. Hannah Hardy. Tola Morakinyo.
Haven't seen him in a bit.
Jake Douglas. Callum Clements. So a lot of game athletes: Brittany Weiss, Ben Fowler, Hannah Black.
What's happening in?
Roy,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Emma Hauk, Karen Freyova, Spencer Panchek, Julia Cato. So a pretty good lineup.
Yeah. What's happening in London?
Well, I guess it's still happening, but there was rumors that there was something going on with it. So, but FitFest is happening this weekend. It's what happened last year. They did not stream it. It's where it's Europe or UK, Europe versus world, just like kind of Tier did with Wodapalooza SoCal. But the lineups have been switching nonstop for different reasons. But with this, they fly the people over there. So I think they were scrambling to get people last minute. And so I don't know. I could look and see if they have the lineups up.
I think Ariel's there, and isn't Emily?
See, I don't know, because like everything's been changing.
Okay. I
think Emily's there.
Yeah, I'm just following from their
Yeah, so it is Team Europe is BKG, Sarah Sigmund's daughter, Amy Kringle, Anola Kai, Elena Wilkinson, Emma McQuaid, Harry Lightfoot, Yellow Hosta, Yona Koski, and Lucy McGonigal. Team Rest of the World, I cannot see it all for some reason. Anyway, I'll try to do it by site. Looks like a Fisa Gaffi in there, Ariel Lowen, Abby Domit, Nick Matthew, Dallin Pepper, Jason Hopper, Colton Mertens, Sam Dancer, Shelby Neal, and Emily Rolfe.
Yeah.
Last year, Barbell Spin was able to stream one event, but they were not able to stream anything other than that. And Colton was on there last night, and their schedule seems pretty full all weekend with events. But they also do a lot of meet and greets with fans, so it's kind of like a festival more than a competition.
Almost more like an exhibition.
Maybe.
Yeah. I did get a text from Corey Leonard because he is doing Legends next weekend, and they announced that crossovers jump rope are in Legends, and he was so excited because that is what killed him at Masters Fitness Championship not that long ago. So, So he did do a workout with them in it this weekend or this morning, and he said he smashed it, but I do not have video proof of that.
Yeah, video or it didn't happen.
And he is thrilled. I think that's Cajun for thrilled.
And is that in Arizona again?
Yes, at Arizona State University.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Did you guys see the Pat Vellner video with Coffee Pods and Watts?
No.
So they got into whether Pat was going to be doing the CrossFit Games season.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that for him, he understands if some people are willing to do it or for $20 dip their toe in the water to see what's coming with the CrossFit Games season. But as it is now, he doesn't see any benefit to doing the CrossFit Games season, especially if it's all online. Like he said, for an elite athlete, all online competition is stupid. And he doesn't see any benefit in that. So I think we're going to start hearing.
Yeah.
Last week, Caroline Lanebray was on Talking Elite Fitness, talking about that her and Jeff were waiting to see what the prize purse was going to be. Because they are not they don't have a title sponsor for the games this year to cover that at this point. I think they're doing it out of the open entry fees. So people are waiting to see.
That's not going to be good.
A lot of this is just speculation and rumor that I'm just piecing together. But she said, I know everyone thinks money's evil, but we're trying to make a living out of this, and we need to know what the potential is.
And is the expectation that they will know all of that before the open starts? Because I feel like that's not always the case, is it?
I don't think they will. And that's why Pat was saying he could understand why some would pay the $20
just to see what happens. Yeah.
Do the workouts to be in the top 1% and then wait and see what comes of it all. And then make.
And he's prepared not to do that.
He is prepared not to do that. Emma McQuaid has already announced she is not participating in this season. I think that's the only truly official announcement that's been made.
Chandler Smith? Chandler Smith is retiring or not?
It was very vague in his thing, and that's why I'm not counting it. And plus, he didn't compete last year. He was on a team, so.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll wait and see when signups come, who's there and who's not, and what it means.
I mean, I have to say myself, I'm not even excited for the open. Like I used to be.
The cutoff for quarters or whatever, semis and all that, it leaves a lot to be desired for some of our, your everyday fire breathers in your gym that would have made quarterfinals. Sorry, I'm making a mess.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts. It's really hard to organize them into my head, but one, I think it's really easy for someone like Emma McQuaid and Pat Vellner to say no to the season. They've done it countless times. They are established as athletes. They have sponsors. They have had their successes. Both are on the back nine of their career, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's a lot harder for the people like Hattie Canyo, who nobody even knew about until she made the games last year. Where does she go to do her thing if there is no game season? Right.
Right. She's not going to get invited to Rogue or any of those other large.
How do these up and coming athletes establish themselves to get invited to things or to go to things? The places where the money is based on your past performance. And if you're new and up and coming, you don't have a past performance to help you get to those things.
Yeah.
Now there's a big rumor with Will Morad's new league.
Yeah.
The World Fitness Project. It's going to be 2 events with a championship, and that he has announced. This, I heard a rumor that they are actually giving contracts to people before the season starts. Like guaranteed money, which is a move that Live Golf took to get people to leave the PGA and go to Live Golf because they had guaranteed money. Now, that all ended up where they combined back together, and it's one thing and again anyway. But I don't know how much they're giving ahead of time, but there is rumor that they are giving contracts to the high end athletes to appear in this season. But there's no exclusivity either. You can do both.
Oh. So you can do the games and do World Fitness Comp. Okay. Interesting.
So,
did you see the documentary? Did anybody pay $15 to watch it?
no.
Except for me?
No.
I watched it. They focused on 4 male athletes and 4 female athletes the entire time, with a little bit of Emma Lawson, just because she happened to be in first place. And actually, she may have been one of the people. It was like Danielle Brandon. God, I can't even remember who they focused on. But I will tell you, surprisingly, Tia Claire Toomey Orr, who wasn't even competing in the games, probably had more airtime than anyone in this documentary, which I thought was a little bit odd. And I'm certainly exaggerating, but she was ever present. And at first I thought I had downloaded like the wrong year, because I was like, wait a minute, they're talking to Tia. Like she was there because they had athletes, but yeah, she was on camera a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Was it any different than past documentaries? Because it was a different group that did it.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know. I had it sort of like on in the background when I was doing some other things, so I wasn't like 100% focused on it. So maybe I have to watch it again to sort of see, but I don't know. Do they always just focus on like a couple people and then like the hell with everyone else? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they just picked the wrong people. I don't know. I was just disappointed that like, Ariel's there on the podium and like I don't think she got like any camera time whatsoever. And I know it's hard to predict, but you think that you could cast a wider net, and then just leave a lot on the cutting room floor, because like footage is footage, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like
I was just disappointed.
I can see having a plan going in, but if a story pops up, can't you shift? I mean, you have the cameramen there, and maybe it took you 2 years to get it out. Like you had plenty of time to do post interviews.
Yeah.
Like it just, like I can't, as someone who has done like little mini documentaries, and I know it's like way smaller than what they're doing. If Ariel, like nobody predicted her podiuming, that becomes a huge story.
Right.
Right. And you knew that by like day 2 that she was having the games of her life. Why not pivot?
Right.
And I don't know who, because I haven't seen it. I don't know who else they filmed, but like if it's Danielle Brandon, like she was 10th, like she always is.
Yeah.
Who did it?
Danielle Brandon was one of their primary folks. Justin Medeiros was one of their primary folks, obviously, because he was coming in as this 2-time champion, but complete lackluster performance. Yeah.
I don't know what the group's name is, but they actually like paid CrossFit to be allowed to do it.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to remember some of that. So I'll watch it. Was it on Apple TV or?
I think you can get it.
I think it was on Prime.
Okay.
I think Prime.
Any of the video stream, like Apple, Prime, you can probably download it. If you wait maybe a week, they'll have a Christmas sale.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll be $14.99 instead of $15.99, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Corey said Prime for $15 for sure. I mean, I usually buy them. I've been so busy with family and stuff here and trying to follow all this other stuff. I just haven't had time to download it.
What did you think of did you see the Katrin retirement video that the Buttery Bros did?
I mean, she's a legend, right? Her story resonated with a lot of people, falling from the rope, not qualifying from the games, and then, coming back and
winning twice,
winning 2 times in a row. And really, like, we were talking about it the other night, 15, 16, 17, the finishes in those 3 years were the best finishes ever in CrossFit Games female history.
Yeah, it wasn't so dominant. Like, you were excited.
In 15 and 16, it could have been Tia, Sarah, or Katrin that won it either of those years. And coming into the last event, I mean, it's the infamous Katrin didn't try on the pegboard, saved herself for the last event, and then was able to pass Tia and Sarah because they kept trying to go up the pegboard, right? And then the most epic finish was the Cara Tia in 17 that was 1 second apart.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Did I miss it, or was there zero comp train Ben Bergeron footage in that?
He's posted something, or
no, yeah. I'm not talking about him posting something. I'm talking about her retirement video. Was there any Ben Bergeron references? Were there?
There was definitely stuff from that era. I did not see Ben in any of the footage.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, there's her training at New England. There is, all that kind of stuff, but I did not. And I'll be honest, I wasn't watching. It got long to me. Like, okay, you said you retired in the first 30 seconds, and now it was like a big highlight reel it was long.
Yeah. Yeah. It was also the thing that I put on in the background. That's why I wasn't sure if there were any, tender moments, tender hugs, warm embraces in the warm-up area or at the finish line.
Yeah, I didn't watch it close enough to give you a definitive answer either. I think like 2 minutes in, I was like, is this? And I looked at the little line on the bottom of the screen. I'm like, oh my God.
Like, you're still going. You got another 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think Rich's was like a 90-second reel,
Yeah. I did think it was cool that they she went to Utah, I guess, and worked out with those guys or wherever they're based out of. And she did double DT or heavy DT or something. And she was like only 30 seconds off of her time from when she was at the games. And the guys used the girls' weight and they were still minutes behind her. I just thought like her fitness was still longevity amazing. Yeah. And she says she hasn't done DT or anything close to that in years, probably, or like 8 months or something. So that was kind of neat.
Wow.
Yeah. Every time I watch those videos, though, I love the Reebok uniforms.
Yeah, they were so good.
It was so easy to tell who was who on the floor because
big name,
they all had their own combination, big name, big number. Gosh, the Noble came and you got like 8 font number and name on the jersey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I lament every time when I watch those tribute things. So, whoa, that's big. There we go.
Oh, you can see my pencil tree, my Christmas tree.
It was funny. We were talking. We did Hall of Fame for men and women on the Sunday night show, and I, going back and kind of reliving those moments. It's a shame what's happened to Sarah Sigmundsdottir, because for 4 years for never winning, she was as big in the women's sport as anybody ever has been. And she has 2 podium finishes to show for it. Could have won either of those years. And in 17, she wore the leader's jersey for part of that weekend.
And wasn't she, I feel like she was one of the first female athletes to like get in on like some indigenous brands.
Yeah,
Like, didn't she have like a, big, like widespread global brands, not just like the niche CrossFit brands?
Yeah, she was, and like if you went to any of those games, half the crowd was there for her.
Yeah.
And she was always the nicest person backstage. Always.
So happy. Yeah. I remember at Rogue when I was judging at Rogue in 19, first experience judging a big competition like that, and, being in such close proximity to those folks. Like, our judging room was right off of the hallway where they were warming up, and like we shared bathrooms with them. And I remember like Camille and Sarah just like being in the women's bathroom, like washing your hands right next to them, and them being just all bubbly and sweet. It was really cool. It was a neat experience. That would never happen again.
Yeah. Well, speaking of all those good memories, let's go back to the
Yeah.
boycott thing, because I want to ask you this question, and then we'll end the show.
Okay.
So everybody, is making their decision. Do we boycott the Open or do we not boycott the Open? And what are your general thoughts on that?
I don't like, so I think you cannot do the Open, or you could boycott the Open. I think it's two separate statements that you're making.
Or you could do the Open.
Yeah, yes, or you could do the Open. But I'm saying if you're not going to do it, I think you could just choose not to do it, or you could boycott it. And I think a lot of people, I fear, are just not going to do it for a variety of reasons. Like, I'm probably not going to do it because I don't have an affiliate anymore, right? I don't know where I would do it. And it's just not like, I'm just in a different phase of my life. And because it seems like that second phase, the old quarterfinals is like non-existent now, it gives me less of a reason to want to do it, because I know I'm just going to do the Open and then I'm going to be finished. Whereas in years prior, I've done the Open and, qualified for quarters and, did them once, I think. But just knowing that you could kind of get to that next level is kind of cool. But I will tell you too, that the last couple years when they lowered the bar for entry into quarterfinals, it seemed less important for me to qualify for it.
Well, you got to remember, there is a second stage. It's just different. It's that community event where you can sign up in June and you can compete in your level against other people in your level and go on. Right.
Levels.
Just clarifying.
Yeah. I think for me, it lost a little bit of its desirability when they open it up. Well, it used to be like top 10%, and they open it up to like 25% or something like that. When it made that jump is when I sort of became disinterested in it. So I don't know, but there are other people that are going to be very vocal about it and very, fly their flag and say like, I'm not doing it in protest, as opposed to just kind of not doing it out of disinterest. And I think that's going to be me. I'm going to be probably in that disinterested cohort.
I have so many thoughts, and I think I am going to do the Open, even though I don't feel like I'm the most prepared for it, because I don't want the numbers to go away.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, this would be the first time in 11 years I haven't done it. So it might be a good reason to just register for it so that I don't lose that streak.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll probably do it. And then my other thoughts are, in all years where CrossFit needed to give out the information as quickly as possible, this was the year it had to be.
Yeah.
And that upset me. That they did not.
Because they didn't.
They did not button down and get that done. And so, and I've been on an internet battle with someone right now about that. I get really upset because I think people are leveraging Lazar's death to make their point, when their point has nothing to do with his death.
For sure.
Right? Their points are that they're not being treated well, or they're being treated like monkeys, or CrossFit doesn't care about the athletes. None of the gripes and complaints are about safety. yet they're using this tragic event to try to have a platform to be able to speak their mind and to have a boycott, right?
Yeah.
And then you're you're using statements made by Luca, who his is about his brother dying, right?
Right.
To kind of keep the fires alive. And I'm sure there are athletes who were so close to Lazar that they are boycotting for that reason.
Right. A handful.
Right.
For
But
sure.
I think the vast majority are trying to use this time and this moment to go after their agenda, to be treated better, to have more say in what happens at the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
Because I have worked backstage of the CrossFit Games as a volunteer before even judging, like, and when you see the time and energy put into each event by Dave Castro, by Boz, by the whole team to make sure that it's right and that it's fair and that everybody has it's equitable, like they give a shit. The problem is
for sure.
it doesn't show because they can't get information out, or they hide it to themselves until the last minute, or they have no
They
business
trip over
practice to get
themselves.
that stuff out in a way to communicate with the community, to give them assurances. And so what's happening is now you have a mix of, hey, I'm pissed that Lazar dies, I'm not doing the open. Hey, I'm treated like a monkey, I'm not doing the open. Or, hey, I'm just tired of CrossFit not telling me what's going on and changing the season, I'm just not doing the open.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's all this spaghetti thrown against the wall shit for, am I doing the open or not? And we don't really know why people are boycotting, or like you said, or just tired of the season changing every year. And I'm disinterested now.
Right. Lack of interest. Yeah.
So I've had a really hard time wrapping my head around this whole thing. Like, cause I really haven't publicly spoke about like how I feel about the season or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to many competitions. The CrossFit Games are the safest competition I've ever been to.
Right.
Yes,
We've talked about
they had a
this.
tragic event, but I've been to a shit ton of competitions where the rig shook more than they should.
How many near hits have we seen? Right.
Right. So it's not about safety. It's about all this other stuff, and people are just using this moment in time to try to take their stand.
Yeah. Here's my opportunity.
And I think the people trying to take their stand didn't have their ducks in a row for this moment.
Right. You could say the same thing for some media outlets too.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But
we still haven't had like a games athlete interview since the games, have we?
We have not. So tomorrow's my first interview of a coach. I'm doing a coach first.
Okay.
But with Dubai and Fit Fest going on this weekend, I'm going to wait till that's over, and then I'm going to start doing elite athletes again.
Okay. But that's a pretty long moratorium.
Yeah, that was definitely planned by me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, more like I had to get my head wrapped around it before I could ask them
Right.
to get their head wrapped around it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we could have had many elite athletes prior to this for views and clicks and all that kind of stuff. But I have a lot of respect for what you've done and how you've handled it.
Yeah. I just don't think it's fair to put them on the spot when I can't even tell you I know how I feel inside. I just can't articulate it very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay.
We're not robots. Imagine that.
Well, I think that's a good start to this conversation. I'm sure we'll have it as more information comes out about the seasons and all the alternatives over the next few weeks. And I love talking about like the personal life stuff, but sometimes I just like my friend Kat to give me her impressions of different things and kind of just talk it out.
Yep. So, good stuff, my friend.
Well, cool. Well, with that, We will let you go for the day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're first to know. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, which apparently a bunch of you are, because we ended up in some wrapped year-end wrap things that people have been sharing.
Very
so
cool.
If you're there, make sure you leave a 5-star review and tell us what you like about the show. With that, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Clydesdale Media Roundtable. Bye, guys.